Boston finds out it's metastatic, and it's from the back of my head all the way down through my body. If you look on, it looks like my skin looks like a BB target or something. It's everywhere. So now it starts getting a little real. By the way, that 10,000 thing, so it's 1 in 10,000 will get a feel, 1 in 10,000 will reoccur. 1 in 10,000 of those, it'll be cancerous and metastatic and terminal. And I can't hit 3 numbers in the med books. I mean, what is up with that? I can do this, but I can't hit the med books. So, Lisa and I, now we had to start prepping a little bit more. We start going through the different types of chemo they have out there. No cures, but things that will, maybe will, but maybe won't keep the cancer at bay somewhat. And now we have to tell the kids. Again, Superman of the family. I mean, nothing stops me. Everybody's used to this. There's nothing that can slow me down. And then I have to tell my kids that, I have cancer. And that's not good. You can't tell them it's going to be okay if it's not going to be okay. So we tell the kids, and then slowly we tell the family, and we let everybody know. And then as someone with cancer, I started having the normal feelings that anybody would have. My wife, my kids. I mean, I don't want my kids going without a dad. I don't want my wife going out without a husband. And I don't want all these people to suffer. I often say I've got the easy job. All I have to do is die. They have the hard job. They have to live the rest of their lives remembering me like you guys do. And it's just hard for me to swallow. I mean, I'm glad I'm the one with the cancer, but they have the hardest, roughest jobs of all. You caregivers out here, you people that are sitting here, lost loved ones, have people that have cancer, know this, you have the toughest job of all. I've got it easy. You guys are the real heroes. So we started doing the different types of chemo. We keep going back in for scans. My very first chemo, I'll never forget it. I do the chemo, I get out of the hospital, I'm thinking, wow, this is nothing. I'm bouncing around. This is easy. I didn't feel anything. It was the 3rd round of chemo. I felt like I'd been mugged with a baseball bat. I can't tell you, I don't know where I spent more time, in the bathroom or in bed. It was horrible feelings. And then to be in the house, it was almost Christmas time by now, with my little girls, knowing that I'm feeling like this. It was just horrible. But in the back of our minds, we stayed together as a family. We didn't want you to remember that this whole story is the hope that relay gives us. And the hope that staying together as a family and fighting together as a family, what it gives us. It gives us a lot. Remember, it was Super Bowl last year, and it's crazy because those of you, and I know all of you, know somebody who's gone through chemo, everything's worse. A cold isn't a cold. It's like 10 times worse. Super Bowl night, I started getting some cold sores on my lip. It was nothing big. The next morning I woke up, my nose was swollen shut, the whole outside of my face, my lip, hundreds of cold sores, the inside of my mouth. I wasn't able to, I was starting to feel like it was swelling up and I wasn't going to be able to breathe. Trying to keep this from Lisa and the kids as much as possible, so I take myself to the emergency room and I'm just sitting there feeling grotesque. I mean, I know this is superficial, but it's a cold sore. We all know when we get a cold sore how bad that feels. I had hundreds of them all through and I was starting to feel like I couldn't breathe. So I'm laying there in the emergency room, in this little room waiting for the doctor all by myself. The night after the Super Bowl, and I'm sitting there and I'm crying because I couldn't believe Welker dropped that pass 20 yards. The Giants did it to us again. I mean, what was that? 2 Super Bowls in a row, and they're gonna let us fall like that. It was definitely a difficult time with that Super Bowl. Again, I tell this story, and we've been upset. I'm upset. I tell some of you are upset. So let's get into some of the good stuff now. The first chemo, it started working. It was there's no cure for what I have, but it held it off. There was no growth after 3 to 6 months. But unfortunately, the chemo stopped working, and the growth started coming back. So going through the whole rounds, we've done the same thing, and I'm now on a drug called Sutin, which is not approved for my type of cancer. And so far, it's working. So the happy part of this whole story is I have the exact same amount of cancer in me right now as I did when we started 1.5 years, almost 2 years ago. So on that aspect, this is amazing. Now we're in some support groups with other people, And it's a miracle that I'm standing here right now. There's been a lot of people my same age demographic, the same amount of cancer, that haven't survived till now. And I'll tell you, I owe it all to Lisa and my girls. Because we all know, if you don't have that hope, if you don't have that positive attitude, you're not fighting this thing. We all know that it's not hokum. A positive mental attitude, feeling like you have something to live for, feeling like I owe my life to my girls and my wife, keeps you alive. This isn't, like I said, hokum. This is real. That's what the Relay for Life gives us. It gives us that hope. It puts us together. It shows us the sad stories. I mean, I think of the stuff that I go through when I take chemo and I think of what children have to go through. I mean, what people that are older and not as healthy as I was when I started this process have to go through. And I don't know how they can do it. But you guys, you give us that hope. You make us realize. You make us fight harder. You guys should just be proud of yourselves for that. The biggest thing that the Relay for Life does is give us that hope. It's more than just raising money. It's about raising hope and awareness. And not just for fighting for people like me, but for fighting for people that are going to come down with cancer, and for fighting for those who have passed already. Relay for Life is such a wonderful, happy event. We're on that track. We're walking around. I see people, we're buying products from each other that we made for cancer. We're having a good time. We're eating food. We're doing all this. And when I'm gone, I hope that's exactly how everybody remembers me also. So for those who've lost, just think this is the way we're honoring them. And I know they're up there. They're happy. They're looking at us because we're not grieving. We're not helpless. We're not just sitting here taking this thing lying down. And we're not going to let this win. We're going to take it. One person at a time. Whether it's you guys giving me hope, whether you guys saving lives later, when we finally find the cure, when we finally find those medicines to make it so people can live with cancer, we're all going to be heroes. Thank you.